My name is Joshua Schroeder. That's Schroeter. And my primary business right now is South 40 Snacks, but I also have another company, a couple different companies I'm involved with.
Okay, so for the first question, how do you define success?
From a business perspective,
Or just in general?
I would say success is defined by achieving specific goals that you set out for yourself.
Okay. Where did your inspiration come from?
For South 40 Snacks, I think my inspiration came from first and foremost my passion for sunflower seeds, but second of all, just a very clear business opportunity that I was able to see in terms of a category that was declining, that was stagnant, in a subcategory, in a much bigger category that's literally just exploding. And so I thought, well, if we can jump into this subcategory and really kind of bring some innovation, bring some excitement, bring some creativity, there would be an opportunity to kind of really drive growth within that category and really have a big impact.
How did you move from idea to something actually succeeding in the market?
Well, we're just really getting started, so I'm not one to say, hey, we're succeeding quite yet, but I've got a lot of confidence. But we're literally just about 3 months into it, so it's going to be a long haul.
How did you organize your team?
I don't have a team.
Okay.
I work on my own. Actually, I've got a couple people who are helping out, but generally I don't really have a team at this point. I'm trying to do this company a little bit different than companies in the past. I really want to keep it kind of lean and mean and, not take on a lot of head count and, yeah.
If you could have, what would you have done differently if you could have?
Well, like I say, I'm just getting started. So I think at this point, I don't know that I can point to any one thing I would have done differently. I'm sure that when I look back at it a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, I'll have a laundry list of things that I would do differently. But at this exact juncture in the current business, the current state of the business, and the current timeline that we're in, I can't really say anything that I would do differently. In fact, I think we're doing pretty much everything just right.
Okay. What makes a great entrepreneur?
Oh, that's an impossible question. I mean, there's all kinds of things that make entrepreneurs great. I would just say first and foremost, I could talk generally about some of the things. I would say first and foremost, there's got to be some creativity. There's got to be good ideas. There's got to be a spark for a good idea and some intuition about and real understanding, I think, of what the consumer demand might be for that product or service. So I think, that's step one. Are you creating a product or a service for which there's demand? Are you solving a problem in the marketplace? I think without that, I forgot what the question was, but I think without that, you got nothing really. Now, sometimes you don't always know exactly what problem you're solving, but I think that over time, clearly, you're going to be solving a problem or fulfilling some sort of need in the marketplace that is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you very specifically with my sunflower seeds, if you look at my competitors, it's an existing category. It's a $360 million in-shell sunflower seed snacking category within a broader $90 billion snack food category. So it's a very small subcategory in a much broader category. But within that category, which I said is stagnant and declining, you've got a bunch of seeds, Conagra, Frito, Spitz, Biggs, David's. And essentially, it's bird food. They're serving bird food to humans.
Mm-hmm.
That's their product. little seeds. It's bird food, and what they do is they flavor them with toxicity, with chemicals, with coloring, with additives, with really pretty crappy ingredients, and they sell them. No wonder that it's a category that's stagnant and declining and not very interesting, and that most people don't even like seeds because they're serving up bird food.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm serving up beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, large sunflower seeds that are tasty, that have a kernel that is nutty, meaty, robust, flavorful. Celebrating the seed, not the flavoring. I'm not celebrating the dill flavor, the ranch flavor. I'm celebrating the wonderful seed itself. Thank you.
What role did education have in your success?
Education, what's that? Education, and the best is hard knocks. It's life education. It's working. It's doing businesses. This is now the 4th business I've started. So I mean, it's like that's the best education of all. On top of that, formal education. Business school for me was great. I mean, it gave me not a requirement at all, not necessary to start a business, but I think it was helpful for me personally because it really gave me a grounding in some financial concepts and terms, and really that I hadn't had exposure to previous. But I think really it's a language. It's a way of thinking, and I thought that was helpful. But it's not a requirement. I don't think any education really is a necessary requirement. I think it can be helpful, especially if you're lacking in certain areas. I mean, just knowing how to write well, how to think well, how to be creative. I mean, all of that can come with education. All of that plays into successful businesses.
For the last one, what's the most important question I didn't ask and your answer?
What is the single most important requirement for success? Right? Like you asked me education, what about, but you didn't ask me that open-ended question. And I would say it's persistence, drive, the will to never give up or quit when things get hard, right? Businesses don't just go out of business. People quit. Right? And that's why businesses fail. And that's why most businesses fail. Most businesses fail. I think, 9 out of 10 all businesses fail. So I think it's just staying in the game, staying alive, and being able to figure it out, which means failing a lot along the way, making mistakes, and being able to rapidly pivot, rapidly change course. So it's making mistakes, but you can't make mistakes that are big enough that they kill you. I think of it as like cliff jumping. You're jumping off of cliffs. Cliffs are going to get higher and higher and higher. You got to keep jumping off the cliff. The key is to get really good at cliff jumping so that you can kind of land on your feet or sort of fall down and get back up. But as the cliffs get higher, it gets more treacherous, and death is not an option if you're cliff jumping. So it's sort of persistence, and it's staying in the game.
All right, thank you.